Okay, so in this sublesson, we're going to describe the benefits of quick measures. We'll introduce the 5 quick measure calculation types and their calculations. We'll go ahead and create a quick measure, and then we'll discuss some limitations and considerations. So let's go ahead and get our supporting Power BI desktop file for this sublesson opened up. So I've got my GitHub files open here. I'm just going to go to 𝐿03_13, double click on it to open it up and give it one moment. Okay, so with this file open here, we're going to go ahead and get ready to create ourselves a quick measure here. So we're going to go through an example, but one of the really nice things I want to talk about quick measures on for is if you're not used to writing DAX and you're just trying to figure out DAX itself, and maybe you're just a new learner, using quick measures is a good way to actually teach yourself, because there are some configurations wizards we'll see here momentarily. Okay, so the desktop file's open here, but let's first discuss some of the benefits of quick measures. So quick measures are, as advertised, a nice easy way to create measures without having to understand DAX yourself. So you can go through a few configuration screens and actually have a wizard build a DAX expression for you. Now, this is a nice way to dip your toe into the water when it comes to DAX, because you can go in and get them configured, have a DAX expression be built for you, and then take a look at how the expression was actually built up. And I find this is a really good way to learn any language. We kind of showed you that back in the M module when we were back in the Power Query Editor on how you can actually learn M by going through the configuration screens and watching the language that's getting developed for you. So it's just a great way to kind of learn by watching. So those are some of the benefits of quick measures. You can get in and start building DAX expressions, and fairly complex ones, without actually having to do any work on your own. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to take a look at the 5 quick measure calculation types and their calculations. But first, what I want to do here is I want to set this demonstration up so that we can actually build our quick measure out. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to my data tab, or my data view, I should say, and I want to open up my order date table, because what I need to do here to make this work is earlier on we had hidden the order date column here so that it was not visible at the report view. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually unhide this. So I'm going to go here and uncheck that hide in report view, so that order date is actually now available when we're going ahead and building these measures out. So what I'll do next is I'm going to go down to my sales table, and I'm going to go ahead and right click on the sales table and say new quick measure. So the third option down here. If I say quick measure, we're going to wait for a dialog box to pop up. And then here's where we can go through and take a look at the 5 quick measure calculation types. So if I open this up, I can see there's ways to go ahead and figure out aggregates per category, filters, some time intelligence functions, totals, mathematical operations, and text. So actually, I guess we have 6 different quick measure calculation types here. So we will then go ahead and build ourselves out a quick measure here. So I'm going to go and choose the one for the year-over-year change. So I'm going to go ahead and find my year-over-year change quick measure here. And what I want to do here is it's going to ask me for a base value. So I'm going to go to my sales table, and I want to choose my total sales measure. So I'm going to take that and drop it in there. And next it's going to ask me for a date. So I need to go into my order date table and find my order date column, which I just turned back on, and drag it into the date here. And we're going to say number of periods. So this is really the number of periods over which to calculate the change. And we want to do that over 1. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And what we'll see here now is that a brand new measure will get created right here in the sales table called total sales YOY %, to stand for year-over-year percentage. So if I go ahead and make this DAX expression a little bit larger here, we're going to see that it actually wrote this out for us. And it's doing some fairly sophisticated things. It's taking advantage of what are called variables, which are beyond the scope of this class. But what happens here is we're able to first calculate the previous year's sales by taking advantage of the calculate function, using the total sales measure. In this case, we're using the date add DAX function, it's been created for you automatically, to go 1 year back to figure out what the previous year's sales were based on what that context is. So after the previous year's sales have been calculated, then what we're going to do is return a division of the total sales minus the previous year's sales divided by previous. So here we can actually go ahead and run this. So Actually, it's already been run, so I don't need to do anything. But now let's go ahead and use this in a visualization. So I'm going to go back over to my page number 1. I'm just going to make a little bit more room for some of the data we actually want to bring onto this page. So I'm just going to move a few things over here. Let's just go like that. And maybe we'll go ahead and get rid of quarter to date sales on here because we got enough on here. Let's go and grab our total sales. I just need to move the fields pane over a little bit. The sales YOY percentage. So I go ahead and drop this in here. And we can see now that we have a calculation that is letting me know how much sales have changed on a year-over-year basis. So I can take a look at the total sales for this year. So I got this value right here, the 2.7. The total sales from the prior year was 2.5. And that's letting us know that the sales have actually gone up by 10%. We can go down to the next one. We can see that total sales for this month were $2 million. The previous year's sales were 2.6, so therefore we've gone down by 22%. So we can go through all the rest of these things here, but it was really quick to go ahead and create this measure using the quick measures, and we actually saw it was quite sophisticated. So we're able to get a lot of benefit out of this. And as I walked you through in the expression, it's a really nice way to actually show you how to build some more complex things out without actually having to do it yourself, but learning by having an engine write it for you. So next, let's take a look at some of the limitations and considerations around quick measures. So I'm just going to go out to the Microsoft Power BI docs and pull up the document that actually talks about this. Okay, so I'm on the website here now, and this URL is inside the GitHub repository. So if you want to go ahead and get it that way, you can. But some of the few limitations and considerations to keep in mind around quick measures, and I'll just go through the first couple here, are that you can use a quick measure added to the fields pane with any visual in the report. You can always see the DAX associated with a quick measure by selecting the measure in the fields list and looking at the formula in the formula bar. Now, one nice thing about this is once the wizard has actually built the DAX expression for you, you're free to go ahead and change that expression how you see fit. So if you want to modify the name, modify any of the variable names or anything like that, you can go ahead and do that because there's no way to get back into the actual creation wizard. So you're now free to do what you want to do with that. Okay, so with that, that brings us to the end of this sublesson on quick measures.